guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be mostly washing bottles. I've got 46 of them to do. Each bottle is scrubbed within an inch of its life, rinsed in some water briefly just to get the bubbles off, tipped out, and then bring it over to this contraption, which then fires a jet of sanitizing water into the bottle, coating absolutely all of it, and I've got to repeat that about 46 times. Yay. Right, that is now the most strenuous part of it done, which is the washing of the bottles. 35 bottles I've washed. I never use 35, but I always just have that extra one just in case. Right, so we've got positive pressure, which is a good thing. But what I am going to do is, when the dogs stop barking, is I'm going to check I'm going to do a hydrometer test, see where it's at, see if it's where I want it to be when it's going to stop, and hopefully we'll get it bottled because I've washed them all and sterilised them all. So I'll be a bit annoyed if it's not actually ready to be bottled. So what I should have done in hindsight is actually checked it first. But that's the thing about hindsight. Oh, that looks good. Oh, it smells epic. There is still bubbles, which means there is still a fermentation of sorts going on. Let's rest that down there for now on there. And we're going to grab the hydrometer and this, and we're going to plunge in, and we're going to take a hydrometer test. Hydrometer test. It's been a long day. Right. Okay, so the gravity it was supposed to be was about 9. 1.009. And it's 1.0246. So that's perfect. Maybe a little bit over, but still perfect. So I'm going to gently put that back in. Like so. We'll have a wee test. A tasting test. Always very important. Especially when it's the middle of the week and you're not drinking till the weekend. You can sneakily have a little bit. I mean, there is still yeast and whatever floating around in it. It's not cleared out yet, but that'll clear out in the bottle. Not a lot of an aroma. Very bitter. Not actually a lot going on with that. It's quite steady. Like a steady ale. Oh well. It is what it is. So, do I remove the cage or do I not remove the cage? I think I don't remove the cage. I think I'll leave the cage in. Right, and yeah, we're going to get this bottled. It's perfectly at the point of readiness. So that is what I am going to do. And yeah, we'll crack on because it takes forever. I'll show you a few of them being bottled with the bottle wand, and starts flowing a little bit cleaner now. It did have loads of yeast, which I managed to like take out. Don't want that floating around in one of my beers. I think it might have rested on the area there, but not to worry. So we fill it to there, and then we drop it down, and then repeat the process. So I managed to get 43 beers out of that batch. They're 500ml bottles, which is alright. I do kind of tilt it to the last bit, but there's a couple of dregs that a bit too cloudy, so I didn't bother. So now I'm going to prime a couple of these. Priming, if you do not know, is adding a bit of sugar, which then reactivates the yeast. The yeast then produces CO2, and the CO2 is trapped in the bottle, so it can't go nowhere, therefore it's forced into the liquid, making it naturally fizzy. And you just do, I do half a teaspoon, I find that works well. I use brewing sugar as well, it just dissolves a little bit easier. If you use too much sugar when you're priming, you could have an explosion, which wouldn't be good. The bottles can only hold so much pressure. So yeah, be careful with that. Do follow instructions on whatever kit it is that you're using. Right, I'm just going to leave it at that for now with them. And then we cap them. Now sometimes you see this here, it's got a slight bit of foam coming up. That's alright, don't worry about that. Just close that off. It's just a chemical reaction from the sugar contacting the beer. There's yeast in there, so it's probably just set it off straight away. But we do want that CO2 in there. So then we just tip them upside down and then back. And that just helps the sugar dissolve nice and quickly, so it can get on with the carbonation. Just gently. Like that. And there you go, they're ready to go. I'm going to continue and do the rest with the rest of them. And yeah, let's crack on. All primed. These will now be left for 1 week in this room. Most brew kits say 2 weeks. I only wait 1. I don't like a massive carbonation, and the sooner it's out of the kitchen, the sooner it can get in there and start clearing. Normally leave it in a cooler area. It just helps all the particles settle out. So 1 week in here, and then up to say 3 weeks to 1 month in a cool place, so that it can clear out and become crystal clear. And there you go. 42 bottles of Kveik IPA. Toodle pip. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.